Yep. Okay. So let's quickly go through the agenda of today. So we'll be looking at the introductions and about metrics, then we'll go to Telegraph and go to some of our demo session. So few words about myself. I'm Ashwin and I'm a senior analyst at Evotrix and working on Splunk for more than 2 years. But again, the reason I'm joining the user group because I'm kind of passionate about Splunk. I think Splunk is a great platform. So I would be doing very little about the Splunk selling and more about the experiences in terms of building good solutions using Splunk. So we thought we will do a quick session to talk about Splunk metrics using Telegraph as a part of this session. So you guys can start using it, and we think it's a very good product and very few people are using it. And we just want to make sure more people are using it. Let's move on to the next slide, and I would now like to recognize and thank the people who literally worked hard on to make this session happen. Here we have Vikram, our trainee and project ninja of the team, Apiksha, associate director and query expert. We have Vignesh Naidu being all-time all-rounder and the tech enthusiast. And at the very end, the guy with a big smile, Ajit, being the admin specialist and scrum master. So let's now directly dive into the topic that it's Splunk metrics via Telegraph. So as you can see, the visualization for the metrics, which can be directly indexed to Splunk, and the log events can be first indexed and later converted to metrics in case of the events. So the first thing we're going to talk about is why metrics. So you guys already know that Splunk can work against any data structure, any source, any timeline. So you know what I'm going to talk about is the metrics data and how it can make a huge difference for real-time monitoring in your environment. So starting with metrics being numerical data points captured over time, that they can be compressed, stored, processed, and retrieved even far more efficiently than events. While metrics data can be found in many places, it can be challenged to leverage efficiently. So metrics come from servers, your IoT sensors, machine generating objects, and it all comes in the numerical and time series data format. And going to, on the other hand, being numerical data, which eventually can be a game changer for your organization, as it takes 3 times less storage than events, 500 times faster search results, and being only focused and enriched with the only data you are looking for, makes it even less costlier as you need to index less. So using metrics as a part of your data ingestion strategy can boost the speed of monitoring and alerting significantly. And importantly, the speed in which you are able to act by seeing the real-time trends can be game changer for your organization. So as you see, Splunk handles metrics in its native and lightweight format, which directly contributes to providing 2000x performance increase over traditional log queries. And now let's move on to the next slide. And it's been a long appraise for metrics, but why? Let's see a quick comparison between the traditional logs versus the metrics. So I've categorized both of them into 2 parts, where the left is logs and the right is metrics. So metrics logs can come from different sources, like they can be in the text format, they can be in CSV or the JSON. So there is no kind of proper structure. Whereas being the metric data, it's only on the numeric side, and only the counts are taken to be concerned, because there is no need of text or something. So it's kind of numerical based data. Like same goes for the second point. Now the raw events, if you have seen while working with Splunk, it can be of tremendous amount of storage, like it can be a big raw event or a small. So depending on the type and the amount of data you are indexing in Splunk, the scaling can be costly. Whereas metrics, it is quite efficient in terms of cost as compared to logs because there is only the numeric data. So if you can see in the down, there is an image where you can see the raw log and down there is a metric event or metric log. So if you see the log, the event log, there is so much of information like the name, the size, the IP address, and there is a .txt, HTTP version, the response code. But when it comes to metrics data, there is only the timestamp, the metric name, the value, and dimensions, which we will be looking in the next slide. But coming to the searching part, when you need to find something in your raw events, it can be a haystack to find them because you need to then read your whole raw event, whereas in the metrics, you don't need to do so. It's quite good for your monitoring, and there is no kind of events or raw you can see in Splunk directly. So being this a proactive and monitoring for the logs, so you can find the actual reason of the issue which you are looking for by looking in the raw events. But whereas in the metrics, you can't do so. It's just for monitoring, and you can get a glimpse that something is going to happen by just seeing the trends. That's the reason the metrics are used for the forensic analysis, whereas the logs are used for the detection after something has happened. So now if you talk about the metric, the main characteristic we are looking about is time, when that metric measurement was taken. And coming to the metric name, generally used by the dotted hierarchy. So over here, if you see there is a CPU dot idle, that means we are measuring the idle value of the CPU. Now the actual value of this metric is basically the underscore value in the table here, right? So there is a numerical data which represents the state or count or whatever you are measuring over there, basically represents the measurement. And the dimensions, now this is important because dimensions represent the metadata about the data or metric. Suppose we take a CPU data here by dimensions, we can think about from which host we are taking this measurement, that host belongs to which region. So this all comes under dimensions. It kind of gives more insights to your data. For example, coming to AWS Cloud or GCP, Google Cloud Console or platform, right? So those kind of characteristics or metadata about the data is called the dimensions. In metrics, basically, they are used to give more insights to the metric data, as they don't have any fields or regex kind of concept. Now down there you can see there is metric type, there is underscore dims. So underscore dims is basically you can query using underscore dims and you will get the list of dimensions which you are using. And metric underscore type is whether you are using the gauge metrics or count metrics. And currently Splunk supports only the gauge metrics, that is the count currently. And other fields which you can see, that is host, index, host type, and source, are the by default fields which are getting collected by Splunk. Now, moving on with the second half of the session with a very powerful agent for collecting, processing, aggregating, and writing metrics. That is Telegraph. Its architecture, its working, and pretty much everything. So let's dive it again. But before that, with some more metrics, not again actually numbers. In terms of features that Telegraph offers, starting with starting with the input plugins. So Splunk offers, Telegraph offers currently 160 input plugins from where the data can be collected. Specific metric data can be collected. And more than 20 parsers or serializers, and more than 30 output plugins, and more than 25 types of deployments. That is, it supports pretty much all kind of operating systems, operating architectures and versions, which we will be looking more in the next slide. That is the actual architecture and working in the Telegraph. So coming with the Telegraph architecture, the first category is input plugins. Some which are enabled by default when you install Telegraph. These are like tasks that make Telegraph actively reach out to various services and system components in order to gather metrics. These plugins may have various configuration options. For example, you can collect metrics per CPU core or just CPU total. There is a complete set of input plugins which will enable admins to collect metrics on Linux or Windows systems very easily. Then comes the processors, which are responsible to pass the metric data into the format you define, that is CSV or JSON or collective, and it will automatically follows that format and passes it, while it also serializes it at the same time. That is, it automatically follows the logic of the data format in which the data needs to be shaped. Like for Splunk, the serializer used is Splunk_metric. Same goes with ServiceNow, Graphite, and many more. So now, just before the metric data is written or output, one more step is followed, which is aggregation. That is, it creates aggregate metrics, basically collects the related data, or you can say detailed data for that metric name, the minimum, the maximum, the mean, average values, and much more. So the output plugins determine the service outputs the data format to the Telegraph. So while it will be writing the collected data, the default output plugin when we install Telegraph initially is InfluxDB, but it can be easily switched to Graphite or Kafka or File or multiple other output plugins. For Splunk, the mostly used is the HEC or the output file. So moving on with the connection of Telegraph and Splunk. Telegraph and Splunk connection is quite easy, just a proper step needs to be followed. Starting with first, Telegraph needs to be installed on the system. Then the input needs to be defined inside the telegraph.conf file, and then defining the output plugin referring only with Splunk. It can be easily sent by file output on a HF or UF or from an endpoint using the HAC and token created from Splunk. Later, Splunk will listen the output file using the file monitoring method, and if you are using via HAC, it can listen via HTTP method. And these data will be directly indexed to your indexers and being specific to the only metric indexes, as only Splunk now natively supports metric data in a metric store. So there are two types of indexes currently, that is the event index and the metric index. So you can directly use the metric index and index your data or metric data. So till now, we are now known about metrics, Telegraph, and how to connect both. But now, how to install or deploy Telegraph. So here's the answer in the next slide, with deployability. So let's look into it. So coming with the deployment part, Telegraph gives the three options. First is the standalone deployment, where Telegraph needs to be installed on your system and yeah, there is no need of Splunk to be installed. So you can directly install the Telegraph and create an input using telegraph.conf and editing that file and using the HEC method to directly send the data by HEC to your Splunk. So this allows the admins to get the centralized management of metrics using any kind of tool like Ansible, Puppet, etc. You can use anything. So now the sidecar deployment. This is kind of in middle. You need to install Telegraph as well as Splunk. So Telegraph is first installed and the Splunk is also installed. You can use Heavy Forwarder or Universal Forwarder. So you need to first install a Telegraph and then you need to create an output plugin which can be used via file or an HEC, which I will show you in the demo slide, which will be after this one, how you can use the inputs and outputs, telegraph.conf and everything. So coming to sidecar deployment, you can install Telegraph in your system and Splunk, maybe GitHub or UF, and the props.conf and the inputs.conf are readily available on the Telegraph site. So this can use for a file monitoring, which we can't use in the standalone deployment. In the sidecar, you can use a file output where the Telegraph will write the output to a file, and then Splunk HF or UF can read that file and index that data to your Splunk indexer. Now coming to the last, Splunk application deployment. So this is my personal favorite because you don't need to install Telegraph separately. You just need to install or download the Telegraph TA or technology add-on from the Telegraph website and directly install on your Splunk apps or an add-on. So you can directly upload it via HF if you have HF going to apps, and you can install it from the backend if you are using an UF. So this Splunk forwarder that's already configured to the outputs ingestion, whatever you are deploying or whatever you are writing in the telegraph.conf. And the TA is so smart that there is a script which always runs. So whenever your Splunk is restarted or stopped, so automatically Telegraph will also restart itself and stop itself. So Splunk starts Telegraph and ensures it continues to run always. That's the good thing about the TA. Now moving on to the analytics. When you have the data, you have the Telegraph installed, you have got the data, but how to analyze it. Here comes the analytics part, where Splunk gives you the power of analytics, which are pre-installed in the newest version of a Splunk, the analytics workspace. This is the very good software, or you can say the good initiative by Splunk to analyze your metric data directly without using any kind of third-party applications for Splunk. Here you can aggregate, you visualize, and analyze your metric data. And this automatically understands or pick up the metric data, whatever is coming in your Splunk environment. And there are more data, like more features that you can use the XML dashboard or a beta dashboard, and you can directly save your newly created visualization for the metric. So let's look into how this actually looks like. Let me share my screen with you. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, now we can see.
You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see.
Oh, cool. So now if you can see my screen, here is the GitHub repository for the Telegraph. So can everyone see my screen of Telegraph?
Yeah,
And
Ashwin,
my
we
audio
can
is
see
not
the
up?
Influx
Oh,
Data GitHub repository.
perfect. So this is the official GitHub repository which is provided by Telegraph. And you don't actually need anything after this. If you open this site, you will get steps and everything. So as I was mentioning, the inputs, the processors, the aggregators, and the output plugin. So let's quickly look at one of the inputs. Let's say the system input. What it has. Okay. Yes. So if you open, I have randomly taken NSTAT. So first, when you open it, you will get this thing. So this is the actual input which you need to paste in your telegraph.conf. This is the input dot. Input starts from inputs dot and the output starts with outputs.conf, outputs.file or outputs.hsc. So it's basically quite easy to understand. So you just need to take it as it is from the telegraph and paste it directly. And let me start my system. Let me log in. Yep. Pretty much slow. So this is the analytics workspace provided by Splunk. And if you are using the latest version of Splunk, that is after 7.2, you will get this steadily installed. And if you are using before the version of 7.2, then you need to install this from the Splunk base. And if you see in the left-hand side, let me give you the overview quickly. Here, left-hand side, there is data. In the middle, there is analytics, or you can create anything. And the right-hand side is for analysis, or the split by, or let me give you it quickly. So while collecting the system data, these are all the inputs which Splunk automatically understand or index, and it will automatically bring it here. So can you hear me properly? I think there is some issue.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
So how you are getting all this data into your Splunk?
So we are using the Telegraph, which I already said you. So we are just editing the telegraph.conf file. If you can see, or I can show you. So this is the telegraph.conf. I'm not sure if I have that file readily available with me, but that's okay. So let me give you the quick overview of this analytics dashboard. So here you can see if I click on somewhere or say system, so it will automatically load your CPU.system, and here it's the analytics for the last 1 hour. And the same way you can add anything, like I have added the net data, like the sent, byte sent, byte received, the disk usage by percentage, the CPU usage. Let me dig more. If you are clicking somewhere like the first, the use percentage. Here you have lots of options like you can take the average, the maximum, the minimum, the sum, like if you're taking the maximum, it will get loaded and give you or show you the only maximum data, like the max value of that disk as per the host. And if you go by split, you can split it by host, device, index, the mode, the path. If I am clicking by path, it will take the boot, home, and Splunk data. This is the file system or hierarchy which we set, and it's taking the same thing automatically. So there are more options for charting, where you can use the area chart. So currently it's the area. I can use the line chart, and this it will change automatically. You can use pretty much everything, the column, and then you can directly save it as a dashboard XML or using the dashboard beta. So I'm not saving it right now, but this is the analytics dashboard. Now, there's one more thing, which is this app, which is operating system monitoring with Telegram. So this app, you can see, we have the servers, Linux servers installed. We have installed the TA of the Telegram, the kind of the last deployment which I showed you in the slide. So here you can see we have this much of system. We have ES, yes, we have ITSI, indexers, HF, DS, indexer cluster. This one is giving us the trend. The right hand side, it gives the disk space consumed in the last 60 minutes. So the indexer is taking about 60%. I think we need to look into it. And the same way it gives for everything. So this is not much. There is something more you can see, which is open entity dashboard view. So let me quickly directly show you. So here, if you can see, it shows the host name, which it automatically has populated. And we have so much of hosts, like 8 hosts. So it will show you the first, this is the home panel or home dashboard. So you can see 2.56 of average CPU percentage it's using, the ES1, the memory it's using, the disk it's using. And this is the overview of CPU, the memory, the load, the file system, the disk, and pretty much everything. So this is the overview. But if you are going to CPU overview, this will collect all the data or show you all the data for the CPU, like the usage here, what was the idle average percentage, what was the IO wait time or the usage by cores. So this is all you can see for the CPU. Same with processors. We have memory, we have disk, we have net connections. And let me quickly also show you one very good feature, that is forecast. So in the forecast, you can see the prediction, like what is the prediction for next 3 months for this host. We are taking for years. That's pretty much good. We don't need to worry for this much. But if you are going to the indexer, let's say what it has to show for the indexer. So as you can already see, it's using 60%, around 60%. And if you see the prediction, it's increasing. For the 3 months, it will go, I think, pretty much a lot, and we need to think to minimize this thing. So this is for the system monitoring. This is very helpful for the person or the companies or the environment who want to monitor their systems, or they want to get the insights before anything critical going to happen. Like in this case, it's going to bombard the storage in the next 3 months. So we need to fix this thing before that. So this is pretty much everything about Telegraph, the Splunk, and I'm open for the questions if you have any. And yep, go ahead and ask questions if you have any. And let me get the telegraph.conf if I can quickly.
So Ashwin, these are the different types of inputs that your Telegraph is supporting, right?
Correct. Correct.
Suppose
correct.
if I have on Linux server, I would like to get all the metrics regarding to that server. So do I need to install the Telegraph agent in the server, or what? How can I collect that metrics
Yeah.
regarding to that server from into my Splunk?
So if you're looking for a server, one particular server, if you have a Splunk already installed on that one, you can directly install a TA. And if you don't have a Splunk installed, you can directly install Telegraph from this website. If I can show you. I have so many.
I would like to send that the metrics data from one server to my Splunk instance. That's what I would like to.
Yep. So here you can see the Telegraph metrics injection, which is given by Telegraph itself in their official website. So you can see there are types of deployment. There is a PA, and the first one which I showed you was a standalone. So first you need to install Telegraph in your environment on your server. That is, it gives the Linux or Windows. And there are even more. If you can see, there will be tons of different options to install the Telegraph as per your operating system. And once you install it, if you have set it's a Linux, so you can see it's a telegraph.conf configuration. So you just need to, if you are installing for like Linux, it will automatically give you the inputs of the Linux. And you don't even need to touch it even a bit. So it will automatically input these all things. This is the CPU. So this will collect the CPU data. This one collect the disk. And you can ignore something like some parts if you don't want. Like I'm ignoring some PMFS and DevFS. If you want, you can take it. So this is the disk, kernel, memory. So you don't actually need to install any configuration. You just need to install your Telegraph in your system, and then you just need to edit the output plugin. So let me show you the output plugin, where the output is this one. So this is the file output which I am currently using to output a file. So by default, it will output to the TMP, and this is the file name. And it will automatically create this file and even read this file every time and index the data in a Splunk. So here you can see data format is an influx. But for Splunk, you need to change it to Splunk underscore metric. So that's where the serializers come in picture. You can see the serializer will be This is the output plugin. This is the aggregator. This is the processor. And this is all the inputs.
So I need to install an UF and monitor that file, right? Metrics.out.
Yeah, so you need to install a Telegraph. Then you need to install a UF. If you don't want to install UF, you can do it via HSC. But better will be installing an UF and using an HSC or maybe the file output and monitoring the file by a Splunk or using HSC and sending directly data UF to your indexers.
Can you
And
do it directly
the
from the
main
Splunk
thing will
base?
be this app or add-on, sorry, this add-on.
This add-on Splunk base from the Splunk
So
base.
this add-on is not in the Splunk base. So they
Okay.
are still working to so they are still working to deploy this. But currently they are in the demo phase where you can install it via this site. So this is a TA. If you can see, it's a TA. Let me quickly open it also for you. And so here you can see. So this is where it will get installed. Deployment server, if you are using deployment server, it will get installed to your deployment server. The app, so there are three main components, the bin, which is having the actual exe, or you can say start, stop script and collection script. This is the telegraph.conf and the metadata for that app or the add-on. So this is a binary bin which we typically don't touch. So this is the script which is responsible to start, stop, and restart your Telegraph according to your Splunk. And this is the script. So this is not much complicated, but I will just show you the telegraph.conf how it looks like. So here you can see it's a telegraph.conf. So when you open this, this is our telegraph.conf. So here you need to specify the interval, like for how many interval you want to take the data, like 10 seconds. So it will take the data of the system in every 10 seconds. So 30 seconds will be fine for your system data. And there are a lot of options which you can use, but making or keeping it by default is a good one. So this is the output plugin. So this all comes in one telegraph.conf file. So you can edit here only. This is the output for InfluxDB. So we don't need the InfluxDB. This is the main thing which we need is the HSC. So here you just need to change here the Splunk token here and the channel request. That's it. It will automatically start sending data to your Splunk UF or HF using the HSC. So there are
Okay.
even more things. Yeah, even there are more things if you can output it to very different softwares also. Like you can output it to Azure Monitor. You can output it to CloudWatch, and there are a lot many things. So if you are installing for Linux, you don't have actually these all things. So you will get the option of HSC, this file, and this all thing will be not there because you actually don't need them. And if you need them, you can directly copy it from here and paste directly there. So this is the output which I wanted to show you all. And then if we come to input, this is the inputs for collecting the data from a system. Or you can collect even from different other softwares like if you can see IPMIS sensor, interrupts, internal, and the IP tables for a system if you need. And this one is also for your Java, Jolokia, or you can say Jolokia. It's also, you can use pretty much everything. Kind of, I want to say that. So you can try it and get some insights using Telegraph for the metric data. Anyone have other questions? None?
Thanks, Ashwin.
Thank you. So, I think no one have any other questions.
Ashwin, one thing I need to ask. There is one another add-on in the Splunk, that is Splunk add-on for Unix and Linux, and also for the Windows,
Yep.
I guess. So that also
Right.
does the pretty much same thing, like monitoring of the CPU, memory, etc. So is there any
Correct.
difference in the Telegraph?
So yeah, there is a difference. So when it comes to Unix and the add-on which is saying, so they also collect your system data, but not as, or you can say as accurately as Telegraph, because here you have so much options to change or gather some more information, like in Unix and the Next app or add-on. So you have very limited kind of outputs or inputs, but here you have tremendous amount of options to collect. While that one can't even take the Windows data, it's only for Nix. But here you can take the Windows data, even the Windows Server data, if you're running the Windows Server. And in terms of speed also, or the accuracy, the Telegraph is more accurate as compared to your Nix add-on.
Okay.
So both are having their own plus points, but yep, both can be used. But if you're only looking for the metric data, Telegraph is bad for the only metric data. But if you are going with Nix, it collects the data in a raw format, like how typically Splunk does. First collects the data in a raw format, then it collects the metric inside that raw format or raw data. A Telegraph, in the case, it directly gets only the metric data, so there is no kind of raw thing. And for the visualization, then you can use different commands for the Splunk, like mstats, catalog, mcatalog, and pretty much everything about metrics.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So anyone have anything, any other questions? So, all right, so I will leave with this particular slide, and do remember to fill out the feedback form and help us know what topics you must further bring or we must further bring for the user group. The time for the session, whether on weekends or on weekdays after work hours, or if anyone else wants to participate for the session, do contact us at support@tabletix.com. And thank you again, everyone, for joining and actively participating in the session. And have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwin. So just one question, like all of you who has asked questions, I hope all the answer you got, you are satisfied and you have understood completely, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for addressing all the questions and giving the answers precisely.
Thanks. Thanks, Diksha.
Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you, Diksha. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Ashwin.